Hey everyone, I just want to ask everybody, why would a loving God create this reality? Because I really don't see this reality as being something that a loving God would create. There's so much suffering, so much horrible things going on. There's wars, there's famines, and you might say, well, that's humans create that, but they created that with God's permission. And they're like, oh, well, it's because God gave people free will. But he gave people free will to impose on other people's will. So there's a problem there when there's all this stuff going on in the world, like suffering and like malnutrition, um, people getting limbs blown off in wars, and it just lets this happen. Creates a body that just gets worse as you get older, gets deteriorates slowly. We need constant food and water to survive. Otherwise, we die from malnutrition. Like, it shouldn't be that way, should it? I mean, I don't know. I'm just wondering what you guys think. Like, why create such a existence? Like, I mean, there's good things about it, but like, we can't just ignore that there are some pretty horrible things about this reality. Like, we shouldn't have starvation. We shouldn't have kids dying of cancer. I don't know. It's pretty brutal. You might say, well, like when people do bad things, they're going to get punished. But why let them happen in the first place? Why does there have to be all this suffering? Like, wouldn't you create something better than this? Like, and you say, well, God needed to create suffering in order to test people or whatever, but he's omniscient, so he knows everything, right? He knows what's going to happen. Does that mean he's going to know who he's going to be punishing? So then it's not a test then, is it? So I don't understand, like, a lot of it just doesn't make any sense to me, like, and they just come up with some strange answers to these things. So, if you're religious and you believe in like the Bible and all that, I'm just wondering like why would a loving God create all of this? Like they'll just always say, oh, it's not him that created it, it's humans. But he created humans that have free will, apparently, to then go and impose on other people's will. So it just doesn't make sense, like why you would do that. They say, oh, it's given Satan dominion over the earth. Well, doesn't that just make him as bad then by letting him do that? It's like if I was to, kind of just like witness someone killing somebody and do nothing about it. To me, that just makes me as bad as the person that's doing it by me just being a bystander and letting it happen instead of actually intervening in that situation. So, if evil needs to exist, then therefore you could argue that evil shouldn't be punished then because it's a natural part of. I don't know, like why would you send someone to hell if they've done bad then? If you're creating humans, with the ability to do that, then why punish them? Like, it's just, wouldn't it be then better to stop people from being able to do bad things? So then they don't have to end up going to hell. Because according to some people and, people believe God's going to send people to hell in the, fire or whatever. And it's like, what kind of psychopath would want to do that? Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, to be condemned them to infinity in hell. Like, but maybe things have been misunderstood. I don't know, but I'm just curious. What kind of God will create all this suffering, all these atrocities, all the I could list a whole bunch of things. People being born with chronic disabilities, being completely crippled. That's not something that they chose. So I don't know. There's all sorts of like things that people have thought of, like that we chose this life when we came here. I've heard all those theories. I don't know. I don't really believe that stuff, but I just want to know what you guys think, because I mean, I'm open-minded. I'm just like, why should there need to be all this horrible stuff? If you're an infinite being of God that's got infinite power, you could do better than this. You could do better than a world that's full of suffering and just bitterness and horrible stuff happening, horrible people. Like, wouldn't you create paradise on Earth? Like, why should we have to go through some bullshit to then get to that point? I don't really understand. Maybe it's one of those things where we have to go through bad in order to get to good. But then again, like, why would we have to do that? If God is so powerful, he would make us to where we wouldn't need to have to go through bad in order to get good. Like, why should we have to go through that? Why should we have to be punished in order to get good things to happen? Like, we're having to sacrifice in order to, get a better life or something. Like, if that's what, like, for example, there's this whole thing of like delayed gratification, and you have to suffer now and then get rewarded later. But it's like, if God would like create a great world, then I don't think that would even be necessary. Shouldn't we just be having a good time all the time? Why do we need to have suffering at all? So it makes me think that if there is a God, it's not a loving God. It almost sounds like a psychopath would create such a thing to, just to basically harvest the negative emotions. So yeah, I maybe think that could be a possibility, that that our energy is being harvested from something else, some other dimension or whatever. Like, I don't know, like, some people talk about simulation theory and all that. I was watching a guy talking about this exact topic, so it kind of gave me inspiration to want to talk about it myself. And I just want to understand like where people are coming from, like why they believe that a loving creator would create such horrible a horrible reality. And yeah, it's got its good bits, of course, but it's not always great. So yeah, I'm gonna probably leave it there. Going live again later, so I don't know. Maybe we can continue it, but I don't want to be arguing over religion really, but I just want to like understand. It's like, what makes you think that God is loving? Maybe the truth is a lot more ugly, that maybe this is actually Satan's realm, and that maybe Satan is the creator of it all, and that we are in a trap or something. Like, some people believe we're in a reincarnation trap. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like that, like, but yeah, get a discussion going below. It'd be interesting to hear people discussing these things, and maybe we can all figure something out. Like, but yeah, all right. Take care, everybody. I'll see you all next time. Bye.